Inumin? Banayad whiskey. Atin ba ang tubig? Atin yun, walang debate ron. Pero ang nagpaparating sa atin ng tubig, hindi atin yun. Ito'y serbisyong binabayaran.
It was easy to catch me with your big brown eyes and the way you smile.
Nagalit na naman ang tatay mo. Nagalit na naman ang tatay mo. Okay. Before we start, konting introduction lang. Unang-una, pare-pareho lang tayo ng binabayaran ng tubig. Wala akong special rate. Kung ano yung binabayaran niya, binabayaran ko rin. Pare-pareho tayong nahihirapan sa tubig ngayon, which is an issue dahil malapit ng summer at alam niyo naman pag summer, walang ulan. You just expect the worst. Just expect the worst. Ganun lang talaga. As it is, mababa na yung water level ng Angat Dam, kung saan dumadalo yung, pumupunta yung lamesa at saka yung ipo, and it's gonna get worse. Some say it's climate change. Well, ganun na nga yun. But anyway, it's gonna get worse. Lahat tayo under water rationing ngayon, so kung ano man yung oras na meron kayo para sa tubig, make the most out of it. Mas malala in some areas. In Tagaytay, there are only 2 times na meron silang tubig because I've been there recently. 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. lang. Okay? Tapos tigi isang oras lang. Until supply last. Wow! Imagine that. Imagine that. Okay, tayo may mga several hours pa tayong gumagamit ng tubig dito. Imagine the other areas hit by several factors, including, well, the biggest factor is El Nino. Diba? May El Nino tayo ngayon. Okay? Long story short, walang tubig. Yun lang yun. Sino may kasalanan? El Nino. Walang ulan, walang tubig, babang water level sa Angat Dam. It's that simple. Okay? And plus yung ating introduction, remember, we will discuss that all throughout na tipong ang tubig is a national patrimony. Yan. Atin yung tubig. No debate and no discussion doon. Atin lahat yan. It's just that, syempre, yung magpaparating sa atin ng tubig, ibang usapan yun. That's a service. Now, you want to go and get water for yourself, that's fine. That's fine. Kasi atin yun eh. Okay? Pero yung magpaparating sa bahay mo mismo, para makaligo ka, makaluto, makalinis ng sasakyan o anuman ng mga pets natin, ganun lang talaga. Okay? So, paano tayo nakarating dito? Before I discuss that, before I discuss yung main issues niyan kasi, kailangan natin makita kung saan tayo bakit tayo umabot dito. Okay? Historical perspective, kumbaga. Diba? To understand kung ano ba to, bakit ba nagkaganyan, umakit na. Ito, si Bossing. Hello. Ay, nako. Hiya na naman. Akit-akit tapos sa hiya. Okay, historical perspective. To understand how we got here, and we'll discuss things that happened from the time of Marcos. Ganun kahaba yun. Actually, kung susundan mo talaga yung story niya, noong time pa ng World War I. Yes, that's true. Up to the current President Duterte and yung arbitrary ruling tsaka yung mga updates niyan. Okay? Now, we'll also be discussing yung concessionaire agreement. Not the whole document itself. It's available online naman for everyone to see. yung mga nirereklamo lang na sinasabing tagilid sa taong bayan. And no debate, tagilid talaga, tagilid. And through our discussion today, through our podcast, you'll know why tagilid. Okay? We'll also be discussing facts and fiction, meaning kung ano yung totoo, kung ano yung hindi totoo, dun sa mga claims ng mga tao, ng ating presidente at ng ibang mga writers dyan. I'll be placing here yung ating mga sources ng ating mga binasa and mga interviews na ating pinakinggan in the past few weeks. Okay? Pasensya na hindi ako masyado makagawa because we've been very, very busy with work. And ganun talaga. Pasensya na muna. But I'll try to do better next time at marami pa tayong magagandang topics na lumalabas dahil recently, yung ABS-CBN franchise is under attack. Trillanes has been charged with sedition. Na-discuss na natin yan in previous podcasts, but it's worth going back to dahil parang part 2 yan yung sedition nila. Now, yung ABS-CBN din is very hot. And of course, for those of you who are working out there, and out there on a daily basis, those ating mga estudyante, please very careful, sundin natin lahat ng mga panuntunan or advice ng DOH on how to stay safe because of the NCOV 2019 scare. Okay? Yung coronavirus. Okay? Take care everyone. Okay? Wala tayong magagawa doon. We just have to look after each other and take care. Okay? If you want that kind of a topic, please let us know. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. At alam nyo naman, I will always respond to you. My name is Patrick. This is Pat Talks, Lone Wolf edition of Anything Under 3 Stars in the Sun, brought to you by Pinoy Matters TV. Okay, let's get on with the discussion. Okay. Ngayon, we start with the Marcos era. Okay? Now, when we talk about Marcos era, whether or not may corruption ng Marcos era regarding this, we will not discuss that already, pero toward the end of that 20-year reign ni President Marcos, a lot of things need to be addressed, like power and water. Okay? Na pagdating ni, and of course, pera, dahil lubog tayo sa utang noon at biglang nag-devalue yung ating pera. Okay, fine. Now, coming out of the Marcos era, Cory Aquino initiated a wide-ranging privatization program selling 122 companies amounting to somewhere around $2 billion. Oh, maliit na lang. Maliit na lang ngayon yun From 1996 to 1992. We needed the money. Dahil remember, after Marcos, medyo magulo pa yung administration and it's a new administration and they have to reorganize and stuff. So, we needed the money. Nag-privatize si Cory. Hang on. Let me just check if we're recording well. Yep, we're recording well. All right. All right. Then came, nag-privatize si Cory, Then came Fidel V. Ramos. At kailangan pa rin natin ng capitalization dahil kulang. Okay. He broadened the privatization program to infrastructure. Okay? Now, that time, if you remember, if you're alive and you're watching this, you will know that meron tayong tinatawag na rolling brownout noon. At napakahirap. I remember the time I was still working in Makati. That time. At yung mga, kung kamalas-malasang ang elevate, ang floor mo ay more than 3. Araw-araw mo yun. Going up and going down, and yung mga lunch, etc., problema yan every single day. Now, what happened? Okay. Through a special, through an emergency power, Ramos was tasked to resolve that, okay, by tapping independent power producers. Now, if you could look at your Meralco bill, may tinatawag na IPP, yun. Okay? Para oversupplied yung ating electricity at hindi na nagro-rolling brownout. And we're still enjoying it today. Of course, dahil ganun, binabayaran natin yung mga excess power, either that or brownout. Ganun yun eh. Ganun eh. So, based on the success, we ginamit din ni Ramos yung same strategy for water. Okay? Kasi may problema din sa tubig that time. That time the water was being handled by NAWASA and MWSS. Okay? And those of you who remember, meron na rin tayong water rationing that time at pag merong ng tubig na lumabas sa gripo, medyo putik-putik pa at malabo-labo pa because there were 0 water treatment plants that time. Now, okay, as in all governments, okay, when engaging in services, it sucks all over the world. Talagang ganun all over the world, okay? An example of that is yung PhilPost versus FedEx. Okay? FedEx, okay, yung mga DHL, whatever. Efficiency ng trabaho will always be in the private sector because they want to make a profit. Of course, mas mahal ng konti sa FedEx versus PhilPost, pero well, ganun eh. Okay? Now, a couple of the problems there, kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, simula pa nung gera eh. Some say that we had 50-year-old pipes. Kung kukumpitin nyo, 1970 yun from today. Some are much older, as old as probably World War I. Meron pa nga nagsasabi from until the Spanish era pa. Ganun katatanda yung mga pipes. So, kailangan palitan yun, maglagay ng water treatment plants, and yung mga pumps, servicing pumps, etc., para maservisyohan ang buong Metro Manila. We're talking about just Metro Manila, no? The idea is to resolve the crisis via private-public partnership. Okay? Yung public-private partnership is in the form of a concessionaire agreement. Okay? And the idea is asset, which is water, will be retained by the government. Natural. Okay? Dahil kasama sa national patrimony natin yan. Now, MWSS Metropolitan Water Works Sewerage System was grossly inefficient and riddled with debt. Nangutang, hindi nila magawa. We don't know why. I mean, hanapin nyo na lang online kung bakit hindi nila magawa o nangutang at nabubog sa utang at hindi. Talagang maraming problema. Okay, grossly inefficient. Kung may corruption, I wouldn't know. I'm not privy to any transaction that they were engaged in. Okay, para magawa itong concessionaire agreement dahil pag-aari ng taong bayan, pag-aari ng bansa, yung tubig, there has to be an enabling law, okay, which is the 1995 Water Crisis Act, okay, which was passed by Congress and legal basis ng privatization ng public-private partnership, okay? Ngayon, the contract is supposed to last for 25 years. Okay, and the water service is for Metro Manila. Okay. In the 1997 bidding, the lowest bidders were Maynilad Water Services, owned by the Lopezes, for the West Zone, and Manila Water Company was won by Ayala, the East Zone. Okay, both companies started working with their foreign partners with their own monies, money and loans as initial capitalization. Actually, mas malaki pa yung loan kesa sa doon sa ininvest nila. Kasi lowest bidder nga sila, okay, ganun naman ang bidding kung sino yung pinakamababa. Not necessarily more efficient, pero ganun yung time na yun. Okay? And, ipit tayo nun, wala din tayong choice Okay. So, the contract is supposed to last for 25 years. From 1997 to 25 years, that's 2022. That is important. We'll get to that in a bit. Now, initially, nung nilalako ni Ramos yan, nobody wanted to take it because ang tubig is highly politicized. Okay? Highly politicized. Kasi taong bayan lagi ang kalaban mo dyan. So, what happened is, the government had to sweeten the deal. Sweetheart deal na tinatawag. Para may mag-invest. Long story short, ganun lang yun. Talagang tinagilid yung kontrata para may mag-invest kasi ayaw nga mag-invest ng mga tao dahil alam nilang highly politicized yan. And I'll explain highly politicized later kung gaano kahirap yan. Okay. Now, ito yung pinuputok ng, with those concessionaire agreements, ito yung mga pinuputok ng butsi ng ating current administration. Corporate income tax would be passed to the consumer. Number 2, debt servicing and other fines are to be passed on to the consumer as charges. Yan yung tinatawag na environmental fees, etc., etc. Okay. The government cannot intervene when it comes to rate increases or reductions. Okay. If it does, it will pay for, the losses nung hindi in-increase will be paid for by the government. Now, this will be regulated by MWSS. Okay? MWSS will pay for the service fees, di ba? Serbisyo yan and reimburse the cost of the concessionaires with the water tariffs collected. In other words, okay, gagawa tayo ng mga pipes. Okay. Tapos, seservisyon yung Metro Manila. Tapos, mangongolekta. Okay, turn over sa MWSS, tapos, babayaran tayo. Hindi tayo. Hindi ako. Yung dalawang companies na nabanggit ko kanina. These concessionaires will inherit the debt of MWSS, roughly $1 billion owed to the ADB, Asian Development Bank. Di ba yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, baon sa utang ang Asian Development Bank and the Japan Bank for International Cooperation. Okay. So, when you say in-inherit yung debt ng concessionaires, kasama doon yung interest. Hindi nga makabayad yung MWSS, di ba? Okay, kasama doon yung interest. Okay. Government, lastly, number 6, government is tasked to come up with the water source. Dahil, di ba nga, owned by the state or taong bayan or bansa, whatever you call it, ang tubig. So, ang gobyerno ang maghahanap ng water source. Okay? Alright. Now, 1997, from FVR to ERAP, maiksi lang naman yung kay ERAP we experienced the Asian financial crisis na bumagsak ang dollar. Okay? Now, pag nangyari yun, lahat ng interest rates tataas. Okay? Nag-devalue yung peso natin by more than 50%, and legacy debts were denominated in foreign currency. Okay? So, in other words, bumagsak yung peso, pero yung babayaran mo pa rin is in dollars. Okay? So, ganun. Every time there was an increase in rates, ERAP would step in and going to GMA, trying to negotiate with concessionaires. Pabababain. Para sa masa, para sa taong bayan. 'Di ba? Para wag masyado mataas. Okay? All right. In 2002, GMA initiated the rate rebasing. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin ng rate rebasing, every 5 years, talagang mag-i-increase na ng rate. Okay? Pero kailangan pag-usapan to ng MWSS tsaka ng concessionaires kung magkano talaga yung itataas. It should take into account charges in weighted cost of capital and investment requirements. Meaning, magdidepende yung rate increase, depende sa inflation, depende sa interest na binabayaran, depende sa, kumbaga halimbawa, tumaas yung mga materyales ng paggawa ng mga pipes, etc. Kailangan i-adjust within that. Okay? Now, dahil tumaas nga in the Asian financial crisis, we're trying to recover. Kudos to GMA for bringing us through that Asian financial crisis. Talagang lover or hater, talagang mahusay na ekonomista yung tao. Okay. We were affected, of course, pero largely unscathed compared to other nations. As a result, the water tariffs increased. Tumaas ang tubig. Talagang ganun. Okay. Winners and losers. 2003, Maynilad went bankrupt. Manila Water prospered. Okay. Maynilad was controlled by the Lopezes, and Manila Water again was controlled by the Ayalas. Later, 2006, Maynilad was bought by the Pangilinan Group at binayaran ng Pangilinan Group yung utang ng Maynilad sa gobyerno. Okay. Achievements so far, Maynilad boasts 7,500 kilometers of pipes. I don't know if that's enough. Nasa website lang nila to. 3 water treatment plants, 20 wastewater treatment plants, 24 pumping stations, and 23 water reservoirs. According to Manila Water naman, 5,500 kilometers of pipes, built 2 new filter plants, 32 new reservoirs, 113 pumping and booster stations, with 40 additional wastewater treatment facilities. So, yan yung mga achievements sila. Ngayon, ladies and gentlemen, please just fact check it kung ano, kasi nakuha ko lang naman sa website nila and some news articles na kung ano na yung mga achievements sila. So, if it's true, well and good, at continuing yan, dahil syempre, pag sinabi mo namang ginilagyan ng pipes, nire-repair yan, may maintenance yan from time to time, plus kulang-kulang pa. Apparently, nasa 97% ang service to 100, something like that na yung nasa services sa Metro Manila. Actually, bihira lang maririnig mong wala talagang linya sa kanila, sa buong Metro Manila. Bihira mo lang maririnig yun. In 2009, Manila Water and Maynilad the concessionaires was extended to 2037 by GMA. It's supposed to end by 2022. It was extended to 2037. Now, several questions. Bakit daw walang bidding? Wala namang gustong kumuha din eh. Sila na rin lang naman yung gumagawa nun, kaninong pa ibibigay? Bakit pa magkakaroon ng bidding? Okay? Ibibid mo, kanino? Sila na nga ang gumagawa. Okay? At pag nagbid, panibagong arrangements na naman yan. Plus, okay, supposedly for further improvements, kailangan umutang sa World Bank, okay, again, for a couple of billion more, a couple of 100 millions more, I'm not sure how much, pero hindi na at 2009 to 2022, napaka-iksi na ng panahon para para ma-approvean yung loan from the World Bank. So, in-extend dyan sa 2023 by GMA. In 2012, na-approvean yung loan by the World Bank. Okay? This is for Metro Manila wastewater management projects. The loan was channeled to the 2 concessionaires through the Land Bank of the Philippines and for the water treatment facilities. Talagang ganoon. So, hinahanap niya yung pera kung saan pumunta, nandun. Pwede namang i-account yan eh. May physical yan eh. May physical plants yan eh. And I'll post some pictures here na hindi akin, I would like to say wala akong pictures na kinuha on my own. I just, sa research natin, tinignan ko lang online kung ano yung meron. Ito lang yun. Okay? For just for you to see na meron. But, I'm not profiting of the pictures. I don't own any of the pictures. Okay. In 2013, kay ano na to, President Aquino, MWSS ordered both companies to reduce their tariff, okay, yung rate rebasing, because the concessionaires weren't able to justify yung higher rates properly. Okay? Some read it as for election purposes, not really, kasi madaling i-justify yan eh. Madaling i-justify yan. Papakita mo lang naman yung, ito yung inflation natin, ito na yung presyo ng semento, ito na yung presyo ng chemicals for treatment, tumaas, okay? Medyo mataas ang demand natin, so kailangan increase din natin yung presyo. Pero, again, the government stepped in. Pinoy through the MWSS, okay? Ikukwento ko sa inyo kung ano yung napaka-adverse effects yan later. Okay, just to let you know, okay, and we'll get into details of that later. Yung arbitrary ruling sa Singapore, hindi kasalanan ni Presidente Duterte yan. It was because politicians couldn't help themselves. Dahil syempre, pag kunyari may balitang tataas ang rate, nagrereklamo na yung mga tao, they have to do something about it. And the only thing they can do is talk to the concessionaires na wag masyadong itaas. Okay? Maraming effect yan. I'll explain to you later. The companies appealed against the decision in the International Chamber of Commerce, which reversed the order against Maynilad in December 2014, allowing the tariffs to increase. Furthermore, there's a disagreement. Lagi sila nag-aaway dito eh. You can see it in the news na kung gaano ba kataas ang itataas ng presyo, at MWSS will always say, hindi, ito lang dapat. Okay. Ngayon, kinuwestiyon ng MWSS kung bakit daw pinapasa sa taong bayan ang corporate income tax. Now, the government in 1997 allowed them to do so. Remember, they had to sweeten the deal para kagatin ng mga investors, otherwise nobody wants to invest. MWSS blocked this part of the tariff increase and brought the issue to the Supreme Court of the Philippines for final decision. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the concessionaires with conditions like, clean up niyo yung Manila Bay. Okay, sige. Ewan ko lang kung nagawa na yan. Anyway, kasi, di ba, we all know this, na kunyari, yung lumalabas sa drain natin, whatever, it goes to the Pasig River, and Pasig River goes to Manila Bay. Okay. Manila Water went for arbitration, and they won the arbitration for 10.8 billion from the Permanent Court of Arbitration sa Singapore. The president got upset and wants to review the contract. Yun na yung mga videos niya na pinagmumura niya at gusto niya raw ipakulong sila Ayala, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Now, let's look at facts and fiction. Okay, ano ba ang facts and fiction? Let's put it into proper perspective. Presidents, politicians are usually populists. Populists are those who strive to appease the massa or appeal to the massa, who think they are being oppressed by the elite, the oligarchs. I hate calling them oligarchs kasi they're just, businesses. Ang oligarch is a group of wealthy individuals controlling an industry. Ganun yun. Excuse me. Ang principle kasi ng populist is everything should be close to libre as possible. Well, we all know it's not true. Ah, halimbawa, okay, free college. Yan. Free healthcare. Yan. Hindi free yun because ang mangyayari niyan, either we will take out loans or itataas ang rate or we will take out loans and tataas yung rate. In other words, babayaran din natin. Babayaran ng taxpayers yan, ng mga nagbabayad ng tax. Okay? And, utilities should be subsidized by the government. Libre na subsidized by the government pa. While everyone else is paying higher taxes. Okay? This is a socialist principle. Okay? Na lahat libre, tapos yung mga nagtatrabaho, you and me, will have to pay higher taxes. Yan, makulit ka na naman. Ano? Say hi to your friends. Hello. Okay. Economists naman, on the other hand, ang kalaban usually ng populist. Tumawid pa. Economists are business folk, businessmen, businesswomen, yun yung mga oligarchs supposedly. Hindi naman lahat oligarchs talaga. But those are the capitalists who understand the stock market, profit and loss margins, equity, yung utang or pag-aari, and supply and demand. Okay? Hindi lang natin pwedeng i-repeal yung law of supply and demand. Okay? But anyway, now, isa-isahin natin yung claims against the oligarchs, against the onerous contracts daw. Okay. Water is owned by the state. It is true. It is owned by the state. Under the 1987 Constitution, Article 12, it is part of the national economy and patrimony. Hindi ka na babasahin, basahin nyo na lang. But yung intro natin, remember, yung delivery of water is a service and must be paid. For this to happen, Republic Act 8041, the National Water Crisis Act of 1995, has to be made first to allow people to invest. That allows people to invest. Otherwise, kung wala yung enabling law na yun, hindi magagawa nila Ramos. And it was in the form of an emergency power actually. Okay. Now, ngayon, never naging sa concessionaires ang pera. Ang pera. Ang tubig. Okay? Ang sa concessionaires is yung pipes. Okay? Yung nagdadala sa bahay natin ng tubig. Okay? Kaya huwag kayong magnanakaw ng water. Huwag kayong magtatap ng water, masama yun because the rest of us suffers. Right? Now, water was treated as a commodity, okay, according to President Duterte. It's also true. But, okay, it is also true as in the contract of concessionaire contract. Why? Because you have to treat it as a commodity in order to measure yung tubig. Kasi hindi naman, tubig. Okay? Para ma-measure yung charging of services, tsaka yung, kunyari, liters, etc., gallons, etc. Okay, think of it this way, pasimplehin natin ha. Yung 500 ml na mineral water na binibili natin sa convenience store, yung tubig nun, atin. Yung purifying nun, hindi atin. Okay? It's really like that. Okay? Kaya mo binibili yung mineral water ng ganun. Okay? Yung tubig nun atin, pero yung purifying hindi. Okay? Ngayon, now, it was only treated as a commodity para lang masukat yung 500 ml kung magkano yun. It's really that simple. Okay? Kaya it was treated as a commodity. Otherwise, paano masusukatin yun? Tubig. Diba? You have to measure it somehow. Alright. Water is still part of the national patrimony, but in conclusion, the service is not. Okay. Um, Here's another claim. Um, the concessionaires have the option of controlling the rates. This is partially true kasi ganito yan. All they can do is compute from their end kung magkano yung increase. They submit this thing to MWSS, which regulates them, and then they agree on which rates that will be imposed. Pero, laging mag-increase yan. Diba? Height na nga lang hindi tumataas ngayon. Lahat yan tumataas. Now, why were they allowed to do this? Well, for expediency. Okay? Expediency. Ganito kasi yan. Okay. They are running on loans and interest rates, inflation. They are running against loans, interest rates, inflations, exchange rates, operating expenses that fluctuates from time to time. So, imbis na yung MWSS may computation sila na sarili, tapos yung concessionaires meron din sila, tapos doon sila magko-compromise. Okay? Kasi dapat may pagbasihan yung computation nila eh. Okay, doon sila nagne-negotiate. Now, even if they were allowed to control the rates, they would still have to justify it. Otherwise, yun na nga, narinig nyo, pumapalag ang MWSS, and sometimes hindi i-increase yung dapat nilang i-increase. Okay, ilang sentimos lang ang diniferensya minsan eh. Okay. Even with the rate rebasing, yung rate rebasing every 5 years mag-increase, pag-uusapan na every 5 years, kung magkano increase, they would still negotiate, okay, and agree. All right. The government has to pay for the losses. Again, partially true. Kasi ganito, if the government intervenes and in the operations or rate increases or whatever, and the concessionaire incurs losses, dapat kasi hindi pinakikialaman eh. The government pays. I can only speculate, okay? Na tipong some government, some officials will probably go, o ibaba mo because malapit na eleksyon or kawawa naman ng taong bayan. Anyway, babayaran naman ng susunod na administration yan or babayaran naman ng gobyerno yan yung mga talo nyo kasi yun yung agreement. Okay? Yun yung agreement ever since. Okay? That's why ERAP, GMA, and Pinoy never really touched the agreement that much. Although, yun nga, every time they try to stop the increases, nag-incur ng losses. Okay, halimbawa, in order for me to function properly, kailangan ko ng piso. Okay? Sabi ng hindi, dapat 50 centimos lang. O di yung 50 centimos ko loss. Yun eh. Okay? Well, not necessarily kita yun, but, you know, for operating expenses. Imbis na sa piso nakakagawa ka ng 3 pipes, okay, di 1.5 lang. Ganun eh. Mga bagal ang trabaho. Alright. Now, why was this included? Well, again, when we started the historical background of it, nobody wants to invest or operate it. Kasi highly politicized nga. FBR and company wanted to sweeten the deal para may mag-invest. Okay? Every provision of Republic Act 3019, the Anti-Corrupt Practices Act, have been violated. This was a claim by the President. I don't know if there was actual corruption. Let's wait and see the evidence against the party. Sabi ni Presidente, kakasuhan niya raw for economic sabotage, and we'll get into that in a few. Okay? Ewan ko lang kung saan yung corruption doon because both concessionaires were under the MWSS. Ngayon, kung ang corruption is under MWSS, ewan ko na. Hindi ko alam. I'm not privy to any of their dealings. Now, ayoko rin mag-speculate or gumawa ng mga conspiracy theories dahil wala namang bubunga yun eh. Puro ka suspetsa, wala ka namang ebidensya eh. Mahirap yung magsuspetsa, mababaliw ka lang. At walang limit ang suspetsa. The contract was null and void from the beginning. Not necessarily because this was entered too freely by the government through FBR himself, through an emergency power. Okay? Kaya yung emergency power, delegado yan. Remembering emergency power supposedly for Duterte, for President Duterte, for EDSA, nako, delikado yan. Dapat bago lumabas ang emergency powers, hinihimayan. FBR again had to do something drastic. Otherwise, we could be in worse shape today. Who knows? Okay. The next claim was by the president, 0 water treatment facilities. Now, both have claimed they have water treatment facilities at nabanggit natin kanina yung mga achievements nila. Now, there are some who have argued yung potability of water, meaning potability meaning good enough to drink. Technically, yes, we can drink it from the gripo. Yes, we can drink it from the gripo. Actually, may studies yan eh. Kung yung mineral water ba is just as clean as yung tubig sa gripo. And the answer is yes. Meron ng claim na mineral waters are one of the biggest scams in our current generation. Dali I'll just check the Alright, we're still good. We're still good. Kasi minsan nagsa-stop yung recording. Baka naman salita ako ng salita, walang nangyayari. Alright, ang layo na natin. Tumalon yung aking notes. Okay. Dali lang. Alright. Okay. I'm glad that didn't take long. Alright. Now, why is it that some places have very bad water, yung potability nila? I'll tell you why. Okay? Maraming issues yan. Halimbawa, yung illegal connections, yung tinatap yung tubig, illegal tapping. Okay? What happens there? Illegal hindi illegal. What happens there? Di babakbakin yung semento. Yun pa lang is contamination. Kakabitan ng tubo ng kung saan-saan. Contamination na naman. Okay? Imagine na lang tapos kung ano-ano, if you've seen one illegal tap ng tubig, makikita nyo how badly it's made. Sumisirit-sirit pa. And of course, it's bad for you. Dahil nalalagyan ng lupa, napupunta ng insekto, etc. etc. Kung walang, I promise you this, kung walang illegal tap, illegal tapping by some very bad people, okay, water would be cheaper and probably mapaprolong pa yung ating supply ng tubig. Kasi remember, pilferage is stealing. Let's not condone it. Hindi rason yung nagtitipid ka. And whatever your stature in life is. Mahirap ka man, mayaman ka man, middle class ka man. If you tap water, that's bad. Okay. The rest of us get to pay for it. Okay. Now, another claim is Drilon is to blame. All right. Now, if I remember correctly, Drilon was just part of Congress that time. So, kasama lang siya ron, but he's not the one to blame. If I may, you know, I love the guy, FBR. He's one of the he is one of the presidents I really admire. FBR, work ethics, etc., etc., etc. And he solved many of the problems plaguing us during that time. Yung water, yung kuryente, etc., etc. Okay. Who drafted the contract? I'll tell you, it's FBR through, and his legal counsel. Hindi naman abogado yan, so ang magda-draft ng legal counsel. Do you want to know whose legal counsel was? Former Senator Rene Cayetano. Think about that. Yung yumaong Senador Rene Cayetano, na tatay ni? Yes. Tatay ni? Alright. Now, passing the income tax to the consumers. Now, every business does this. Okay, you tax a business, they will increase prices to cover it. Ganun lang talaga. Okay? Ganun lang talaga. They will increase prices to cover the ano. If they don't do that, okay, or if it's not viable, they will, ang gagawin nila, magka-cost cutting sila from within. In other words, yung trabaho babagal. Okay? Magbabawas ng tao, magbabawas ng facilities, etc., etc. Or, give a substandard service or product just to maintain their profit margin. Because remember, this is still a business. Negosyo pa rin yan. Okay? Talagang ganun. Talagang ganun. And, of course, this was also included in the contract in 1997. Bakit? Kasi nagsisimula ka ng baon sa utang at tumatakbo yung interest eh. Huwag tayong maging emotional dito sa water issue. Remember, lahat tayo nagbabayad lang pare-parehong rate. But we have to understand why this is so. So relax lang. Intindihin lang natin yung nangyayari. Now, there's another claim that this is economic sabotage daw. Yun daw ang ground. So far, the revised penal code doesn't define what economic sabotage is. Meron mga brief mentions in special laws like PD 173, which is faking LTO documents and plates and plates. LOI 1359, hoarding and other crimes. Hoarding ng rice yata yan from rice that time. PD 1689, estafa or swindling. PD 2018, illegal recruitment. I don't know where, siguro yung swindling, committed by a syndicate consisting of 5 or more persons formed with the intention of carrying out unlawful or illegal act or transaction or enterprise or scheme. If the fraud results in misappropriation of money contributed by the stockholders or members of rural banks, cooperatives, samahang nayons, or farmer association, or funds solicited by the corporation association from the general public. Now, there's been some critique about economic sabotage. Wala pa actually nako-convict sa economic sabotage. Napakahirap kasi patunayan na talagang may economic sabotage. You have to prove that eh. Hindi porket wala pa yata nagigilty sa economic sabotage. So, some have said it is practically ang economic sabotage is practically a dead law. All right. Now, today, what happened ba? Ba't nagkaganyan? Ba't nagkaroon ng ruling? Okay, let me explain something to you guys first. Okay. Remember the time ni ERAP and GMA, okay? I-divert lang ng konti but it's related, I promise you. Di ba remember, may news na mag-i-increase halimbawa yung pasahe ng MRT. Okay? Tapos ERAP goes in the news and GMA stating na tipong, masyado mataas, kawawa naman ng mga tao, etc. Kailang ibaba, etc. So, meetings were held at hindi itinaas yung rate or delayed or gradual, etc. or hindi na itaas at all. Anong effect niyan? If I remember correctly, yung rate increase that time ng MRT, LRT was for maintenance at mga bagong bagon para pagbili ng bagong bagon kasi luma na. Pagduktong-duktongin nyo yun. Hindi nakapag-increase, tumataas ang singil ng kuryente, remember, it runs on electricity. Yung maintenance cost, yung pagbili ng bagong bagon, okay? Alright. The same with pagduktong-duktongin nyo na lang ha. Ayoko na magbanggit, baka sabihin nyo dilawan ako. I'm not dilawan or desertard or whatever. I just look at the news objectively. Now, nung kay Pinoy, he decided to stop the rate increase ng water ng concessionaires. And yun nga, dinala sa arbitration court at minana na lang ng Presidente Duterte yung ginawa ni Pinoy noon. Okay? The same with the MRT na marami ng aberya ngayon, water aberya today. Okay, nakita niyo na yung connection? Alright. It is easy to demonize the oligarchs. Napakadali kasi mayaman sila, mahirap tayo. But you have to consider, they take all the risks. They make investments. They take out loans. Yung loans, very risky yan. They take on inflation and political pressure. Okay? Now, the truth is, the oligarchs, yung mga mayayaman, Ayalas, Pangilinan, Lopezes, and the Villar, kasama na yung Villar, could invest elsewhere and make better profit. If I'm not mistaken, ang profit lang dapat nila is 7%. If I'm not mistaken. Ha? Sabi ng mga analysts. Pero actually, if they were to invest elsewhere, mga 30% up yun ang standard, 30% up ang profit margin mo. Okay? In a very complicated computation, marami dyan online, makikita nyo na lang, and I can't discuss it here dahil masyadong mahaba. You'll see where the money goes. Yung sa mga charges natin, may mga charges dyan sa bills natin. Kung saan pumupunta yon, it's online. Tignan nyo na lang. But, most of it goes to debt servicing and yung basic services natin. Plus yung mga fines, environmental, etc. Kasi, halimbawa, nagputol ka ng puno or nag-dredge ka dahil gumagawa ka ng pipes, they have to replenish that. Okay? Now, if they didn't go through the courts, the banks would run after them and eventually kakainin na yung capital nila and ruin their businesses, yung water concessionaires, affecting the course of services, of course. Parang yung tindahan mo, dahil may utang ka sa 5-6, binayaran mo yung 5-6, wala ka ng pambili na susunod na stocks, susunod na pambenta mo, paano ka tatakbo nun? Okay? And of course, a lot of people forget this. Manila Water and Maynilad are listed in the stock markets. to which a lot of the government a lot of government the, where a lot of government investment go as well. Okay, there's a heartbreaking story na nagkwento sa akin personally ang isang tao who's invested in Manila Water na nalugi dahil nag-plummet yung 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 stocks ng Manila Water and Maynilad the moment the president attacked them at nalugi siya. Okay? Now, just for your knowledge, SSS is invested in Manila Water and Maynilad. Okay? So, yung investment ng SSS pambayad ng ating mga retirement benefits, etc., from the government, baksak yung investment. Alright. They were tasked to replace badly damaged pipes, a lot of which were pre-war, and they're supposed to service the depressed areas to which they are responsible for illegal tapping. Billions of investment that was raised through borrowing, through market capitalization, meaning selling of stocks. Tapos, yun yung mga problema nila. Tapos, when they started this out, walang mapa. Walang mapa yung mga pipes nung araw kasi nasunog na, nasira na, etc. So, they have to start from scratch. Kaya matagal bago sila nakapaggawa ng dapat nilang gawin. Okay? Kasi sabi sa kontrata may nagbabatikos na kailangan in 5 years meron na yan. Okay? Saan ka magsisimula? Wala nga mapa. You have to start from the dam itself going back kung ano man ang matitrace mo. Okay? Now, today, government is still unable to produce a viable water source for future issues, making business more prone to politicization. Okay? Okay, yung Kaliwa Dam, for your information, na supposedly ginagawa ng Chinese contractors, has been stalled for 30 years. Okay? For 30 years. Nakastall siya. Why? Kayo na mag-research nun. It's greed. Yun lang yun. If the concessionaire contracts were cancelled arbitrarily or sabi ni Presidente renegotiated with new contracts na favoring the Filipino people and the government, at hindi na worth it mag-invest, uurong yung mga concessionaires. Uurong ng concessionaires. Now, this brings shockwaves to the business community. Bakit kamo? Kasi, again, sabi ni Presidente, he will take over, military will take over it, blah, 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 siya na magpapatakbo, etc. To which, nakita naman natin from history, napakasagwa mag-manage ng facilities ang gobyerno. Di ba, remember yung earlier example ko sa inyo, PhilPost versus FedEx. Mas mahal ang FedEx, pero mas mabilis and efficient. Alright? Now, sabi ni Presidente, ibibigay niya lang sa gusto mag-invest. At that point, wala nang gusto mag-invest. Hindi na mag-invest. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi ganito yan eh. Weather yan. Okay. Say, one of his investor buddies ni Presidente nag-invest. If I were that person, I wouldn't invest. Why? Kasi weather nga. Kung hindi, sana kung president ka forever at tumatakbo yung negosyo na maayos. Kung halimbawa yung susunod na presidente opposition. At alam mo naman dito pag bata-bata system, yung susunod na presidente, buburahin yung ginawa nung huli. So, paano na investment ko ngayon? Di ba? So, ba't ako mag-i-invest kung ganun ka-highly politicized yun? Okay? It depends on who the president is. It depends on who the president is. You have to remember that. Kaya hindi ginaalam na naintindihan niya niyan. Kahit with due credit to ERAP. Naintindihan ni ERAP, naintindihan ni GMA, naintindihan din ni Pinoy na hindi mo pwedeng galawin yun. Dahil the moment you do, wala na mag-i-invest. Kasi ba't ako mag-i-invest? Kung hindi ka na presidente, kukunin na naman sa akin yan. Sayang pera ko. Hindi ko pa mababawi yan. Tapos yung utang doon pa sa company na pinatatakbo ko. Ano ba raw? Merong bid daw yata yung prime water, etc. etc. I don't think they will touch it kung ganyan. Kasi hindi mo alam kung sino yung susunod na presidente. Baka kalaban nila. Diba? Paano yun? Ganyan na naman. We will go through this again. Alright. Update. Enrique Anselmo Clar Razon Jr., owner of Soler, and close friends with the Ayalas and the Duterte, bought 51% of Manila water shares. Maraming nagdududa, maraming hopeful na sana. Pero don't look at business people that way. Don't look at business people that way. Buti nga may mga interesado pa eh. Otherwise, pag naging public ulit yan, ang pangit na naman ng service. Okay? Don't politicize it. Tignan nyo muna. Kasi, the truth of the matter is, the President trusts Razon Jr. Okay yun. Kung talaga nagdududa siya sa mga Ayala, etc. etc. Tignan natin kung paano na patatakbuhin. Give it a chance. Right? Now, just to wrap this up, huwag tayo maging emotional about, whether oligarchs, etc., etc., just because mayayaman yung humahawak. No. Look at it objectively. Right? Ano yan? Pasimplihin natin ulit, Pinatatakbo nila yung tubig, maliit lang yung kita, baon pa sa utang, and they're trying their best. Okay? And yung ating water shortage now is not because pinapatay nila yung tubig. It's because we have El Nino. That's all it is. Could be climate change that nobody can control. Now, here's a better argument. Narinig ko to sa congressional hearings. El Nino is primarily, El Nino is predictable. May cycle yan El Nino is predictable. Bakit ang MWSS and yung mga concessionaires weren't able to plan for this for the longest time? Hindi naman bago yung El Nino Periodic nga yun. Bakit? Do you have the answer? I don't have the answers. Okay, we can only speculate. Right? Abangan natin ang mga susunod na mangyayari at marami pang mga katanungan. I hope I enlightened all of you. Okay, my name is Patrick. This is Pat Talks, Lone Wolf edition of Anything Under 3 Stars in the Sun, brought to you by Pinoy Matters TV. Like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will always respond to you.
It was easy to catch me with your big brown eyes and the way you smile.